All right, guys. We're fletching some arrows this morning. Just thought I'd make a short video about how I do it specifically. It's not really rocket science. It's a pretty simple thing once you get used to it. First, what I'm going to do is actually strip the fletching off of this arrow. I use a razor blade, and all I do is set the razor blade down pretty much flat on the arrow shaft and just shave the fletching off. That's pretty much it. Once the fletching is actually off, I've still got a bunch of stuff left on the shaft there, and I'll tilt my blade up just a little bit and just kind of, not so much that I'm actually cutting into the arrow, I'm just kind of shaving the remnants off there.
Giving it a little scrape.
Yeah, just scraping the old glue and what's left of the old fletching off of there. That's pretty much it. Just go around it, get all the old glue and the old fletching off there. Then what I like to do is I've got some acetone right here. I'm not a big fan of like arrow wraps. I use them a little bit, but a lot of guys like to use them. They claim they get a better adhesion with them. I've never had a problem getting adhesion to a plain arrow shaft as long as you clean it good enough. I just take some acetone on a rag and just wipe down the area where the new fletching is going to kind of get the residue, what's left of it, off there. And as you can see right here, that's what was left behind. As long as you get a good clean shaft, you shouldn't have any problems with your fletching coming off, the stuff coming loose. So I've got this jig set up. I'm actually fletching a 4-fletch pattern. I've got about a 3 or 4 degree left-hand pitch set up. What I do before I fletch my arrows is I'll actually take a Sharpie and mark my nock, and I'll stand 2 or 3 feet away from my target, and I'll shoot the arrow into the target and clock which way the nock turns. So if it turns left, I fletch my vanes with a left-hand pitch, or if it turns right, I fletch my vanes with a right-hand pitch. My arrow shaft clean. I'm going to, these are tack driver vanes. They're 2.75s. I really like these vanes. They're kind of stiff. I set my vane in here. This thing has increments on the jig. I like to set them as far back as I can get them. Now, some of these low profile vanes, I can set them way back and still have clearance from my face. I don't get, whenever I'm anchoring on my bow, my vanes aren't touching my face. That's what I'm after. Now with some of the higher profile vanes, like this, I actually have to set them farther forward some in the jig. So when I'm at full draw at anchor, I don't have any interference with my face. So I've got my vane in the jig. I'm going to put a very light film of glue on this fletching. That's it. It don't take a whole lot, just a light film on the whole body of the fletching. Then I'm going to set my jig on here, my fletching clamp, and I like to rock it a little bit all the way down and mash down at the same time until I get complete contact with my vein and I can see the glue kind of ooze out from underneath the vein. And then I just hold it there for 5-10 seconds. And once my vein is set and I take my fingers off and I don't see my vein actually rebound a little bit, I can tell it's adhered to the vein enough to let it cure some. I'll take a Q-tip and just wipe off the excess glue. And that's about it. I use standard super glue. There's all kinds of fletching glues and stuff out there. I've tried them all. I've tried primers and then glue. I've never had an issue with just regular old super glue and getting a good clean arrow shaft. Okay, so once we get it down on there, we get it pressed on the shaft, we can tell it's not going to move. We let it sit for a few minutes and then we can pull our clamp off. Pull our clamp off. We rotate our jig to the next notch and start over. Do it again. And when you do it about, what, 24 times, and you have half a dozen arrows. That's pretty much it. Thanks for watching this video, guys. Make sure to comment. Let us know how you like to fletch your arrows. We appreciate you watching.